So Donald Trump and his allies coming up with these creative and evolving defenses, many of which we've gone over there, and many of them are not rooted in fact. The Heritage Foundation argues a president can declassify sensitive documents in his or her own mind. A former White House advisor says the documents shouldn't have been classified in the first place.
Yep. The reason why you declassify stuff you don't need to classify is the American public need to know. It'll keep us out of wars, and it'll keep our jobs here if you do that.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And what kind of delusional reality does Trump and his MAGA cult live in? Seriously, it's like they don't know a thing about the world or about integrity or basic morality. They'll stoop to justifying anything. They'll define up as down and right as left and find any possible way they can to reorient reality for all the people that watch their propaganda networks.
A Trump ally also suggested that Trump was simply taking his work home with him.
This is from President Trump's office. It just came in a few minutes ago. As we can all relate to, everyone ends up having to bring home their work from time to time. American presidents are no different.
You think these right-wing pundits know when to stop, but they really don't. Every single criminal thing Trump does, they create a new and artificial way to justify it. Their moral compasses stopped pointing north ages ago. They only follow the trail of money, and they expect everyone else to fall in line.
Then, of course, the unfounded and baseless suggestion the FBI had planted evidence.
They didn't allow anybody on the Trump side into Mar-a-Lago, so we have no idea whether or not they planted evidence.
Yes, that's exactly right. No evidence of that whatsoever. There were also claims about the deep state, or worse, there were claims to the effect that everyone did it, including former President Obama, which the National Archives refuted. And then, of course, there were comments about Hillary Clinton.
What? Suddenly Nixon is looking nice to them? Suddenly he's the arbitrator on what can be classified and declassified? They're talking about the deep state? They're happily fessing up to following QAnon? I mean, these people are genuinely so far detached from reality, it's unbelievable.
Famously, President Nixon said, if the president does it, then it is not illegal. Is that not truly the standard when it comes to classified documents?
Others, including Republican Chris Stewart of Utah, have said that there isn't just enough information yet to rid conservatives of their skepticism of the Justice Department.
Look at the premise of most of your questions. Was it nuclear? Was it, heck, maybe it was aliens? That's the point. We don't know. We're asking them to tell us. And until they tell us, then we're going to have questions like this, and the presumption is going to be that it is political.
Well, look, what we do know is there was an executed search warrant signed off on by a judge. And according to reporting this morning, there was a Trump lawyer that said there were no more classified papers at Mar-a-Lago. But based on the newly released documents from their search, it seems there very likely were.
And of course, their sack of lies, Donald Trump, is always innocent. He's uncovering a secret criminal network or revealing alien transmissions or whatever crazy new conspiracy they're pandering today. There's no basis in reality. He's their Lord and Savior and morality king, as much as a bigoted fascist can be, of course. They can't even keep their story straight. You turn on Fox News, and on one segment they'll say that the FBI planted the evidence. On the very next one, they'll claim it was exactly within Trump's rights to declassify those documents. You turn on a conservative podcast, and no, it's Hunter Biden who did it all. Barack Hussein Obama and his pals did the same thing, right? That's what Trump himself said, even though that was immediately disproved. There's no real excuse for what this man did to our country. And with every crime, the fabrications he weaves gets thinner and thinner. These lies are falling apart at the seams. You hear one and you think, no way anyone's going to believe this. It completely contradicts everything about society, and yet they do it anyway. These people who watch Fox News and follow pundits and mimic every conspiracy thrown their way, I can't help but think they're hopelessly confused. The Republican Party doesn't have any clear messaging at all. There's nothing real in their words. They leave their people constantly angry and unable to think through their rage. That's the point. They want them to be unable to see through their lies, completely blind and ignorant and mindlessly worshipful. They don't need rational people. They don't need people who are critical or thoughtful. They need people so worked up and angry that they find violence to be second nature. I feel pity for all the people who exclusively get their news through these terrible figureheads. I feel pity for the headspace they're in. I feel frustration. We cannot have a country being led into terminal ignorance. That will be the end of us. We'll go backwards. We'll lose all the hard-earned progress of the last century. And I don't want to see that happen. I love this country too much to let it happen. That's why we need to take down this hellish party that's peddling this dangerous, irrational nonsense. And that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.